Hi guys, I'm Madeline Harvey. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Do you ever find yourself really confused by voice exercises? It can be really confusing because maybe it's not sounding the way that it should be sounding, whatever the emphasis of the exercise is. Or maybe it's not feeling very, very good, or you're having a hard time isolating what the vocal instructor is trying to get you to focus in on, especially if you're doing the bulk of your work through online videos or modules such as this. Well, I'm going to give you 5 ways that you can modify or change your focus in your lesson. That way you're always getting the most out of your voice and out of your vocal exercises. So if you like today's video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up or click that subscribe button below. I would love to see you here more often. Number 1, there's a saying, set it light, set it right. So you want to make sure that when you're coming into your vocal work, especially if your goal is to really work on strength and projection, you don't want to just hit your voice with that degree of intensity. You want to set it light first and gradually increase the volume, increase the intensity over time. This is so crucial because so much of vocal development is about isolating sensation, giving your voice a frame of reference for a particular placement, a particular coordination. So it's really, really important that we set it light before we really get in there and make it really strong. Because you don't want to be so about setting it strong that you end up setting it wrong. Like it forces your voice to work in a compensatory push-pull kind of effect. So if you notice that when you're singing, you've got to go really loud to keep the sound together, you've got to set it light. Because that overcompensation of the loudness, that air pressure, is forcing your voice into too much force, which can cause a strain and ultimately vocal fatigue and injury. So we don't want that. Set it light, set it right. Number 2, what you can do slow, you can do fast. This is really, really helpful, especially for singers that like to do riffs and runs. So you're seeing the original artist demonstrate those riffs and those runs really quickly, but you want to make sure that you do it nice and slow so you can get the movement, like the rhythm and the pitch perfectly before you gradually, again, there's that word again, gradually speed it up, because that's an agility aspect. And you want to make sure you've got it right and it's dialed in before you go ahead and try to do it really quickly. Another way that you want to make sure to sing slow is, I always think it's really great to sing your music a cappella really slowly, because it highlights where you are in terms of your interior balance. And again, if you've got to push or if you've got to use speed to get through something, that's letting you know that you're losing an interior place of balance. So what you can do really slow, you can do fast. So just sing your melody line very, very slowly. Use a pitch listening app to make sure you're singing the right pitches, and almost think you're going to guide your voice from one note to the next note to the next note. This will teach your voice how to maintain balance and control. Number 3, modify your shape. Now this is so cool. This is so cool because each of us has something called a timbre of our voice. The timbre is the unique spirit of the voice. Now, there are 3 main timbres: husky, brassy, fluty. Now that's 3 boxes to put the whole world in. Of course, there's going to be variation. Of course, there's going to be people who are very obviously, let's say fluty, or very obviously husky. But for the rest of us, we're kind of like, I don't know. But it's really, really good to know. And a short way to get there is play with your resonance. Where in your face are you getting maximum amount of vibration, but least amount of effort? I'll say that again. As you're playing and you're just playing with a sound, where are you getting a maximum amount of vibration, but the least amount of effort? If it's back here Like, then it's brassy. If it's here, it's fluty. If it's down here, then that's husky. But don't be too particular. It's not what you can do, because I know that the better you get at singing, the more varied you get at being able to sing different tones. It's one of those things like, it just feels so good and it pings so well that I don't have to do anything. I don't have to develop this tone. I just do it, right? That's the idea of timbre. So when you're following along with a particular exercise, and maybe the instructor is asking you to do like a darker shape, like a mo, 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 but that's a really hard place for you to access because maybe your voice is a little brassier and you just maybe don't know, then modify your shape. Instead of mo, 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 think ma, 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 mo, mo, mo. You see how muddy and kind of dull that is? Mo, 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 versus ma, 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 ma. I'm getting a lot more ping, but I'm just doing a slight modification. So be very curious about your voice. Get in there and investigate with sound. Good. Number 4, this is my personal favorite. Go do something else. Now, I don't mean quit. I mean, sometimes we can fixate so much on what we want with our voice. We're like, I really want to sing this song. I don't want to sing it as good or better than the original artist. So we fixate, we overwork, we overtrain, we grind, we hustle, we do all that. That just is going to fatigue your voice. So sometimes it's really great to just maybe go do something else, like go for a walk, go eat a sandwich, something like that, or get off of that particular sound and explore another sound with your voice. Your voice is so multidimensional. This is so cool. Your voice is so multidimensional that if you're, let's say, working on, I'm going to pick up I really want to pick up like a deep, dark sound. Again, I'll pick on the mo, 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 I just can't get it. It doesn't sound natural, partly because I'm working outside of my timbre, you see? But if I go, okay, let me just get off of that smoky, husky sound that I really, really want and get into like, so now I'm just opening up something different in my voice so that when I go back, mo, 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 you hear another dimension that's coming into it. So you want to really think of it like that. You want your voice to be like a kaleidoscope of different textures, colors, tones, all kind of coming in to influence and contribute to the tone. But we can be so bullheaded. We can be so bullheaded about what we want for our voice that we're working in one direction, which makes our voice one-dimensional. So it's really easy, very helpful to just kind of get off of it and go work on something else. And then when you come back to it, you can see how that working on that something else has contributed a nice energy, a nice tone, a nice color to that sound, making it easier, okay? And number 5 is see a professional. Yeah, really easy peasy. Every now and again, I would say maybe every 6 months or so, contact a voice coach and just go, you know what? Let's do one lesson. In this lesson, I'd like for you to maybe highlight some areas of some things that I need to work on and maybe help me understand the progression of my voice. Any voice coach can do that in one lesson. And it's really, really helpful to check in every now and again, because as you're watching this video, as I'm sure you've watched other videos, getting all these different takes on things that are possible, it's very difficult to be diagnostician and singer at the same time. It's really helpful to just be seen by someone else who can go, oh, I can see how you're trying a little hard right there. So just lift right there and try maybe this sound. And it just kind of sets you straight, kind of gives you a better idea of where your gifts are. It is very difficult to be the singer and your own teacher at the same time. It's really, really, really great to have feedback. And also, it may be really helpful to go see like a professional, like an ENT or a speech and language pathologist if you're physically struggling, like there's something physical going on. They can give you like a nice little tweaky. Like, for example, I had to have a scope done one time and I was so scared because it wasn't changing. I would try to work on a different part of the voice and it wasn't changing. I had this weird puffy quality to my sound, and I would work on head voice and I wouldn't touch chest voice, and I would do all these modifications. But I was like, I am all out. I'm all out of ideas. So I saw an ENT. They did a little scope and it turned out that I have stomach issues. And I wouldn't have even thought to look there because I was over here trying to correct for my technique. And I wouldn't have even thought to even look at what was going on in my stomach at the time. This was many years ago. And now I'm like a delicate little flower. I feel everything in my stomach. But that's just something that you want to like take a look at. Don't burden yourself so much with trying to get it right. Okay? It's a sensation. It is a technique, but it's more about being able to have your body have your instruments stay in a state of balance. So be very receptive about the way that feels. Does the voice feel out of balance? Does it feel like it's losing power? Does it feel like it's overcompensating for that power? How can I get in there and investigate my own resonators with shapes to see like, where do I feel the most balanced in my voice? So have a very curious state of mind as you explore. Okay, there you go, guys. Those are 5 things that you can do to tweak or maybe get more out of your singing exercises. Just to give you another idea of it doesn't always have to be the way that it's presented. You have a lot of freedom as the singer to be able to investigate and see what fits your voice specific to you. So if you like today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up or click that subscribe button below. And I did just do an entire live on this subject. If you liked what you saw here and want to listen a little bit more, then click that join button below and become a member of this channel. As a member, you'll have exclusive access to all of our lives that we do every Monday and Thursday at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you can't join us, that's okay. If you can't join us live, you'll also have access to our members only area with like over 100 hours of voice lessons. So you can feast your ears and your voice on lots of different cool things to learn. So thank you so much for joining with me today. I hope you had fun and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.